Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to THESPIANWERX with Anthony Velvet Hall. I, of course, am Anthony Velvet Hall, as I tell everybody every time they watch this show. All the world is a stage, but not everything on the stage is the same. So, what I do is I give people, no matter what parts they play and whatever's playing on the stage, an opportunity to talk and just have fun and give people a much better insight on who they are and what they do. Now, before I bring my guest on, I have a very important announcement to give to you guys. I've recently been in negotiations with a couple of channels, network channels, Roku channels, and I'm pleased to announce that I reached an agreement with the King Network to begin showing this program, THESPIANWERX, on the King Network on the Roku. On Roku, that's right. King Network will be featuring THESPIANWERX with Anthony Velvet Hall. So all the episodes that I've done will soon be airing, and all future episodes of THESPIANWERX will be airing on the King Network. So not only will you be able to see me on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, but now you'll be able to see me and my guest on the King Network. So that's a very big announcement. So proud. Awesome way to start my week off. So, having said that, let me take this opportunity to bring on my guest. This is my first live episode of THESPIANWERX. Everybody get ready, all right? I'm going to bring my guest on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this man here was once a struggling actor, but became a viral sensation with his breakout performance in the Black Keys video, Lonely Boy. Now, while you may know him for that and his follow-up performance in Pharrell Williams' Happy, there's so much more to this actor than meets the eye. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, my honor, and my privilege to have as my guest tonight the incomparable DERRICK T. TUGGLE. Derek, how are you, sir?
I'm fine. First, let me get this out the way. Congratulations on your King production.
Thank you so much.
That's huge. That's huge. So, congratulations on your new venture.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I really do. But I mean, I really do appreciate that, and I'm overjoyed right now, and you being on my show just makes it even better. It's going to be a pleasure talking to you, and I can't wait to just really dive into this interview. And so, I guess the best place to start would be the beginning. Your beginnings are rooted in Chicago, Illinois. Uh, Tell us what it was like growing up in Chi-Town.
Um, it's actually a hard-working town. Pretty much, Chicago is like New York. It's basically gritty. People came from the South. In fact, my father came from Memphis, Tennessee. Uh, you know, my grandmother and grandfather came from Memphis, Tennessee, and they moved to Chicago. And basically, hardworking people. And my father was he wasn't in the entertainment business at all. He was a work started off as a laborer and worked his way up to a driver with the streets and sanitation. And just to give you a brief thing on me, basically, I kind of followed right into that. I worked with the Department of Streets and Sanitation as a um, trash man for 9 years. But in my heart, I was a musician. I'm a musician as well. So basically, that drive came out of me, and I basically wanted to follow my dreams in the music. And while I was there in Chicago, I had a chance of being on one of my buddies' records. I was going to play bass for his song. His name is Jesse Saunders. He's one of the I don't know if you heard the DJ crew called the Chosen Few. And basically, I was supposed to do one of his songs, which became a staple house song called "On and On." I was going to play bass on it, but because my father was not into the entertainment thing, I end up not being able to play on that song, and that song end up being uh, a top 10 house song. And then basically after that, I still had my drive to do that. And one day I had this, I got into a state of depression. I was supposed to go to work. I didn't go to work. I just stayed at home and, tried to work it out. And then there was this contest I entered, and it was basically it was a trip to go see Madonna in Nice, France, and I ended up winning this contest, going to Nice, France, seeing Madonna. Stayed over in France for 7 days, 6 nights, and when I came back, there was a difference. I was like, I can't do this. I'm hiding what I really want to do, which is music, which my first love was music. So I basically quit, which didn't sit well with my father.
I'm
But
sure.
but my mother, she was like, you that's what you want to do. I'm behind you 100%. So I end up moving to California, getting off into music with one of my buddies. He came out here a year before me, and we were basically trying to put, get songs placed and blah blah blah. Didn't happen. Uh, I continued on, and I end up doing for free. There's a radio disc jockey that was here. He had this show called Back in the '70s, and basically it was playing all the '70s songs, and basically he was using different drops for his songs, for his commercial breaks.
Right.
And I just got up the nerve, and I'm like, let me just ask him if I can do his drops for him, because basically a lot of the stuff that he was playing, the young kids were using for hip hop songs. So I'm like, let me just show, the hip hoppers where this actually came from.
Right.
And so he let me do these drops for him till the radio station closed, and which was a good thing and like pretty powerful. But then I actually got into acting through. I actually did a music video for. I don't know if you remember the singer Oleta Adams.
Yes, I love Alita Adams.
Yeah, she had did a video called for the song "Circle of One," and basically what it was, she had
Wow.
uh, people in the background, dancing, because it was set up like a club scene, and basically, she was at the piano, and then she gets up, and it's kind of like a party atmosphere afterward, because they actually switched up the track to kind of a disco type of track.
Right, right, because that's one of the songs I actually know Alita Adams for, "Rhythm of Life" and "Circle of One." And "Circle of
Right,
One" is like one of my favorite songs. Now you mentioned that you went from Chicago to California. Um,
right.
as somebody who I moved from the North to the South when I was a
Hmm.
teenager, and you
Okay,
moved from the Midwest to the West Coast
right,
in pursuit of acting and to really get your career the jump start that it needed. Tell me
right.
about the culture shock going from the Midwest all the way to California, because I've never been to California, but what I
Hmm.
understand is that it's a completely different ball game, almost like how New York is to somebody who would probably live in Iowa or something. So, give me some insight on a culture shock experience that you may have had going from the Midwest to the West Coast.
Um, it wasn't a for me, it wasn't a culture shock because with Chicago, I've dealt with a lot of the stuff that goes on here, because, well, let me just say from Chicago, if you're dealing with a racist, you know, you automatically know because they're going to tell you how they feel.
Right.
Out here in California, they're not really going to tell you how they feel, but you can get the sense of, okay, yeah, okay, I I know I can't deal with you because you're actually a racist, because out here it's basically what they give you is two faces. They'll give you the face of, yeah, oh, you're really great, but then behind it, oh God, I can't deal with this guy.
Right.
So so that was that for me was the shock because I'm used to people being upfront with how they feel about things. So out here is it's different. It's a different type of vibe. And like you said, if somebody from Iowa or someone that's not used to the bright lights in big city, it can be a challenge. In fact, you can get off into drugs or escorting or that type of thing
Right.
because because they can tell that you're not part of this and you have that green about you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I know how that can go because those are, people are always looking for those people who are, if being in a new place is a foreign concept to them, so they're trying to just reel them in before they get some exposure to how to actually adapt and function in those new environments and stuff. So I can definitely understand that. Now, we talk so much about when you're spoken of,
Yeah,
uh, the Black Keys video is something that everybody talks about, but you've done work before the Black Keys video. You've done quite a few short films before the Black Keys
right,
video, and you did some background work as well.
right,
Um, give us some insight on your acting training because you weren't green to the game by any stretch of the imagination. Like you actually do have some training and a training background.
right.
Um, so for those who may not know, enlighten us on your acting education, and that can be classes or workshops or whatever. Anything that you've gained insight or more or less anything that you've done in a learning capacity that's made you a better actor.
Okay. I actually studied under two people, which I still consider my mentors, and I'll refer back to them uh, in acting because I studied with them. The first one that I was with was her name is Sarah Mornell. She's an actress as well. She actually has a class here in Los Angeles, and she just started one an acting class in Atlanta, I guess 2019, and it's called Mornell Studios. I basically started under her, and when I started with her, I was kind of reserved, and because I was, let's just say it, my self-esteem wasn't that great. But under her, she was like, she gave me the, I can see greatness in you, and working with her, it brought everything out, and in fact, when she got her first movie debut, she put me and like four or five other students in her movie debut with John Cryer in a movie called Plan B. And then later on, I studied under, he's an actor as well from the Playhouse. His name is Mark McPherson. He has a school called Studio 24/7. And basically, studying under Mark, is where actually the thing for the Black Keys video came out, because when he does a class, he has an activity in his class called Song and Dance. And basically, what it is to bring you out, whatever if you're shy, or whatever kind of hindrance that you have, it makes you, brings you out. You basically say, if you wanted to sing something like Raspberry Beret, he'll have you sing it, and then he'll say, okay, crazy dance, and then you're singing it and you're doing a crazy dance,
All right.
and then he'll say, okay, sing the same song, now do a sexy dance. And so now you're doing the, I'm working part time in a bar. And so basically, he does that to get all the angst out, so you can, whatever scene you're doing in the class, that way you can, continue on.
Right. That's some pretty cool improv, and that's a nice improv technique, because some people will just give you, okay, play this part, play this part, play that part. But to have that kind of monkey wrench thrown into your training, that's awesome, man. That's pretty
Right.
cool. I never thought about that, but that would be a really good acting tool. And
Yeah.
I'm sure several other people use that technique, because there's several different training techniques that you can use to help people loosen up and everything. Now,
Right.
we talked about acting is a love of yours, but music is a love of yours. And in reading your bio, I learned that you were influenced heavily by Sly and the Family Stone's Larry Graham. Now,
Right.
are you a big fan of '70s music?
Yeah, actually, I grew up in the 70s, so, basically I was, you know, when it was hitting, basically I was, growing up in it. So, like I said, Larry Graham was like the first person I saw. I don't, a lot of the millennials probably won't know this TV show. In fact, you can Google it, called American Bandstand.
Yeah, Dick
And
Clark.
that's the first place I saw uh, Sly and the Family Stone, and they were playing "Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself," and I saw him on the side. I told my mother, I'm like, I want to play that. That's what I want to play, which was a bass guitar.
Awesome, awesome. So what other favorite '70s bands, do you like? Are you more of a '70s band person, or I guess maybe a '70s solo artist person? Who were some of your favorite artists from the '70s outside of Sly and the Family Stone?
Oh wow, it was not just bands. Although I liked Slave, Ohio Players, Lakeside. I also liked James Brown, um, Marvin Gaye, and you know Prince was just starting. Soft and Wet had just came out in '78, so it was like, who's this dude? And then to find out, he's playing all the instruments on the thing, and now the band, and not have a band. I'm like, who is this dude? So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I delved back into just trying to find out some stuff about the '70s. Um, I'm a fan of Marvin Gaye. I love Marvin Gaye, and
Right.
I personally think that I'm a huge fan of Donny Hathaway as well. I love
Yeah.
Donny Hathaway's voice. I really do. I've not ever heard Donny Hathaway make a bad song, so
Right.
I'm a huge fan of Donny Hathaway. And then I had older cousins that listened to Parliament Funkadelic and a lot of those other groups and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, trust me, I know exactly what you're talking about. Now,
Yeah. And
yeah, those groups were awesome.
right.
So eventually, we're getting to the part that I think everybody wants to hear. There's
Hmm.
a very interesting story behind your role, or more or less you're being cast in the Black Keys video? Because as I understand, if I'm not mistaken, I've heard this from several places, and I don't necessarily use the internet as a be all end all source, but
Right.
from what I gather, if I'm not from the source I have, you
Mhm.
were one of several dancers on the Black Keys video, and something happened to the point where you became the dancer.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. What happened was it was basically it was supposed to be a montage of different scenes, and basically my scene, I was basically supposed to be a motel owner, and basically they get the keys from me and blah blah blah, and then basically um, it was supposed to be six of us in different scenes. So basically, each six of us was gonna be. It was pretty much gonna be like the Happy video was, if you remember how the Happy video was set up, where you saw different people in different different seconds, dancing and blah blah blah. So
right.
that's how that one was supposed to be. But what ended up happening was I was the first one to go. Um, basically, I'm to start off. Basically, I didn't get the song till that morning, so I basically had to take the time on my way to the set and while I was getting dressed on the set to listen to the lyrics, get all the lyrics down, and make sure that I had it while I was, going to dance in the video. So I did all of that, got all the lyrics and that, and so we were basically shooting all the. Like I said, it was supposed to be me as a motel manager, getting the keys back from them, and then they take off, and then there would be the part where I'm standing there dancing, and then they go on to the next person, show them dancing,
Right.
and so I guess basically after they had shot the whole video and done all the scenes, I guess between the director Jesse Dillon and Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney, they decided we're just gonna go with him. And
Wow.
I, I kind of feel bad that none of the other people got in it, but that wasn't my call.
Right.
To those who happen to be in the video and you see this, it wasn't my call. It was the call of the guys and the director.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. That was awesome. And I mean, I saw the video, when it first came out. I saw you dancing
Right.
and doing the dance and everything. And then I was like, okay, well, here's the dance and everything. And the part that caught my eye, that kept me glued in
Hmm.
for some reason, when you
Uh,
started dancing, like you were doing the dance, and there was a part where your mama kept you, but your daddy left you. I was like, oh man, I gotta keep watching this. I gotta keep watching it. And that part kept me glued
mhm.
until the end of the video. And brother, you tore it up. You tore it up. I
Okay.
see why you are a viral sensation. I see why that video has what, over 100 million views on YouTube, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. Man, that
Yeah.
is crazy. That is crazy. But
But
but I mean, that
let me
success is well deserved.
thank you. Let me tell you this though. This, what you see was all improv at that moment, because when the director asked me, when we were getting ready to shoot, can you dance? I'm like, yeah, I can dance. But even when I was sitting in the trailer waiting, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, because it was like I had no dance plan. So it was basically okay. Let me take some of this. It was like, because like this part here, I remember from there was a club in Chicago we used to go to on the north side of Chicago called the Smart Bar, and so basically it was like a video bar where they had a DJ playing the songs and the videos would pop up. And so it was, even though Chicago's kind of segregated, but in the Smart Bar, it was like blacks and were dancing there. So sometimes I would, you would dance with a white girl. And so you basically had to know how they dance. And then you might dance with a sister, and you're doing the snake
Right,
and whatever. So I basically took some of that, and then when you saw me do the kick, that was Michael Jackson, the move from Michael Jackson.
right.
And so, but just from the lyrics, when he said, "So your daddy left you," I just said, "Well, this," and then your, So like I said, it was all improv at that moment.
Oh man, that was so awesome, man. And it was one shot, right?
Yeah, there was one take. Yeah,
Man,
that's what nobody can believe. Everybody would say, no, they had to splice that. I'm like, no, it was done. Whatever the time it was, 3 minutes and 15 seconds of the music. That's what it was done.
man, that was awesome. That was very awesome. Now, from there, how did you get the role to reprise that role in the Pharrell video?
Um, well, basically, I had saw that they were casting for it, and basically submitted myself, and so I believe because the guys who shot that video, they were from France, so they basically had seen uh, the Lonely Boy video. So they were like, I guess they said, "Oh, we need to get this guy in here,"
Right,
and so that's how that happened. And that one was actually, uh, I don't. People can probably look it up. There's it was shot in 24 hours. There's a called the 24 Hours Happy. So basically, it's all of us that were in that video. You're basically seeing us all dancing and lip syncing for that for the song, and then it'll go to the next person, and then they're doing the whole thing. So basically, when you saw the actual video, they just cut it up and used different pieces, and that's how that one became.
right. That's awesome, man. That was a really cool deal right there, man. To be able to, take that and reprise everything. That's pretty cool. Now, I also understand that you are seeking to establish your own production company, One Child Entertainment. Um, give us some insight on that.
Um, Basically, what I would like to do at some point, you know, as I flourish my own career, is to give back. Basically, have it like in house, people that I know that I've worked with, and possibly have us all as one conglomerate. Doing music and doing film, and possibly doing the music for the films that we shoot.
Okay, that's pretty cool, and it's multifaceted, so that's
Right,
awesome as well.
right,
Now I understand that you have actually done a live stage play called "Who's Playing Who." Now,
right.
as an actor myself, I've never done a stage play, but I know several actors who tell me about the pressures and the responsibility that comes with being able to do what you're doing, in front of a live audience. What would you say beyond that would probably be like the biggest difference between um, maybe just a live stage play and
Hmm.
a short film?
I would say with live stage plays, uh, there's no going back as you would have with short films or TV shows or films. If you flub a line or drop something, it's basically you got to continue on with the process. There's no okay, cut, let's go back. So it's basically with live stage, you're basically let's let's roll. Even if you forgot the line, you got to roll. The other person will have to come in, like with his line. Even though you forgot yours, he'll have to come in to break up the monotony and keep going.
Right, right. Now, shifting back to music, as you said, you're a fan of music and of 70s music, as I am. I'm a fan of 80s music and 70s music as well. As you know, when it comes to hip hop, there are a lot of there's a lot of sampling used, and there's a lot of uh loose interpretations of 70s music and 80s music.
Right.
Random question. Have you ever heard a hip hop song that sampled a 70s song that you liked, or maybe liked a little bit or liked a lot, and you heard the sample and you heard the way it was used and you heard the song it was used in, and it just ruffled your feathers?
Um, there has been a couple, but I can't remember them offhand. But a lot of the samples that I've heard, I'm like, have made me going by the song.
Oh, really?
It's because it's like, um, let me just think on. I know there was a song by EPMD, and even though it was only a bit of the sample from this song called from this group called the BT
BT
Express.
Express.
You know, if it don't turn you on, you better leave it alone. And it's basically a guitar riff, think, 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 think. And so, and when I heard that, I'm like, I know that song. I'm like, man, and to see how they flipped it, it was, you know, that made me go out and buy the song because I knew that song that they sampled, and basically how what they were using. In fact, a lot of my friends would call me the professor because um, they'd hear a song and like, hey man, what sample is that? Oh, that's such and such. He's like, damn man, they only played they only played a minute of it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I know what the song is.
Right, right, exactly. That's pretty cool. What is your immediate musical future look like?
Um, right now it's with pretty much with the acting with COVID is basically kind of everything is kind of like
Yeah.
but because you can't really go out and play anywhere because a lot of times I would play with different bands and stuff, but you can't do that right now. Everything is on lockdown. So basically, I haven't done any songwriting for a while, and um, come to find out, I went to check my storage space, and a couple of my drum machines and one of my keyboards was missing, been stolen. So it's like, oh man, I gotta,
Wow.
I gotta replace this. And like, and a couple of like drum machines, I can't replace because they don't make them anymore. So it's like,
Right.
man, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Well, Derek, it's definitely been a pleasure speaking to you. Please let everybody know what you got coming up and how they can get in contact with you on social media.
Um, well, right now I don't have anything coming up, but you can possibly check out a couple of things I did last year and year before. There's a movie I did under the director Jake Lloyd. It's a movie called Pinch, and it's basically a story about two men who have like a crisis in their lives, and they're one is trying to figure out what he wants to do, and the other one is getting older, and he's trying to deal with midlife crisis, and it all comes together because they want this bat by a famous baseball player, so they're basically coming together playing a baseball game for that bat. And then the other film that I was in, I'm not sure if it's still running, but it'll probably be out. I did under the director Madeline Olnick, and it starred Molly Shannon, and it's called Wild Nights with Emily. It's basically a loose dramedy on the life of Emily Dickinson, and it won a lot of awards in the um, LGBT um, film festivals,
Gotcha.
and it did have a short running in the theaters last year. So it's possible it may be out on DVD. You may be able to catch that.
Okay. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. And you're on Instagram by chance?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram under Derrick T Tuggle 3312. Still representing Chicago. Facebook, Derrick T Tuggle. Um, Twitter, Derrick underscore Tuggle, and I'm also on Twitch, Derrick T 3312, and all the other platforms. You can basically Google me and find me.
Okay. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I had to ask you this. The name DT Smooth. Tell me how that happened.
Um, that basically came out of my music. Basically, I had came up with this moniker for myself called DT Smooth and the Executive Branch. And so basically, it was basically me as the leader, and then the other people that I work with would be the executive branch.
Right.
So I basically took that from the government. So I was like, but I changed it from how executive branch is actually spelled, but I took it as TXB. So it's like, the executive branch.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. That's awesome, man. Well, Derek, it was an honor and a privilege to speak to you tonight, man. I wish you the best, nothing but blessings. Thank you so much for blessing me and Thespian Works with your presence. I'll definitely be keeping up with you on social media. Everybody, if you don't know who the Black Keys are, find out who they are and find the Lonely Boy video. You will see immediately why this man is and has been a viral sensation. And then after you're done doing that, go to his IMDb page because a lot of people know him for this video, but he's done a lot of work before and after that video. This man is not just a dancer, he's an actor. He's a working actor with like almost 50 credits. Like that's awesome. You really need
Well,
to do your homework on this guy. Derrick T. Tuggle is the man. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Derrick,
and,
once again,
and
it is
let me just say this too. You can also see me in other music videos. I was in music video with Lenny Kravitz called "Stand," where I'm actually playing bass, and
Nice.
I was in Big Sean. It was not Big Sean, but I was in the scene with Big Sean. It was YG's video, Big Bank Takes Little Bank, and also I was in featured in the last part of the New Kids on the Block when they were called when they were coming back as NKTB.
Hmm.
The song is called Remix I Like, and you'll see me in that video as well.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only Derrick T. Tuggle. Derrick, once again, thank you so much, man. Have a happy and safe holiday season. And don't get in too much trouble under that mistletoe. And be
Oh
careful with
no,
that
no, I'm staying COVID free.
That's what I'm talking about. Not only is he a great actor and a great dancer, but he's COVID compliant, ladies and gentlemen. Please believe me when I tell you, you can learn a lesson from this guy. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me on this very first live edition of Thespian Works with Anthony Velvet Hall. Once again, thanks to Derrick T. Tuggle. Everybody out there, thank you so much. Um, thanks for the support. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it, man. And as always, remember these three things: life is short and death is certain. And be sure to love on the people God gives you, because one day He's going to want them back. All right?
Amen. Amen.
Every
That's the truth.
Amen.
You see
Absolutely.
this shirt? God is dope.
Better believe it. Better believe it. Everybody, take care of yourselves. This has been Thespian Works. Take